far.
That extra gear, the first 3 steps.
Huge strides in the performance.
That I might not be the player I am today.
All right, welcome to another episode of Behind the Gear, and today we have the pleasure of sitting with Boone Jenner. And Boone, obviously, a little bit of a vet in the NHL now, played a number of years. How many years pro now for you?
Going into my 7th
year.
Yep. It's crazy.
It's kind of crazy when you look back on it.
It really is.
That's nuts, man. And obviously playing in Columbus, how much has that market changed since you first got there? Because I know when, before it's kind of for us up here, I guess more of a southern team, things like that. But the hockey's really grown down there as far as minor hockey, and obviously the support of the team and stuff's been pretty cool.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
Yeah,
since my first year, we had our ups and downs, but the last few years when we've had some good teams, it's such a sports town. You can tell that, and once you start winning and kind of getting the city behind you, you can feel the momentum, and it's pretty sweet. Just as a player, you notice it just more around town, kind of getting noticed, and like more Jackets fans everywhere. You see more T-shirts, more hats everywhere, and the fans are great. They'll see you and just cheer for you. They're always rooting for you,
which is cool.
Yeah, you really want to win for them. That's what kind of the culture down there, and being in the playoffs, the last few years in a row, that's when it really steps up, and it's pretty cool to see.
For sure, man. And being a part of that too, right? When you see those, because when you do have good teams, obviously it attracts more, whether it's in the OHL, minor hockey even, and then obviously in pro.
Success. Right? It's all based on that. You win more games, you're going to have more fans. You're going to build that, hockey community in Columbus.
Oh, for sure. And what was it like, kind of when you guys are going on these runs and things like that, like how much more fun is it in the locker room when you're winning or when you're like close to the playoffs and you're going to be in, like, because you went through some tough years where, there is
nothing worse when it's, February, March and your games aren't meaning much. You're looking upwards and you're pretty much going to have to win out to get in. And then the years pass where it comes down to the last couple of games and you're playing playoff hockey for the last 2 months of the season.
Yeah.
And, you just go day by day and, you have to forget quick and keep the momentum when you have it. So it's the best time of year to play
for sure,
other than being in the playoffs. But to be in the hunt is always the best.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's always nice when you can like get in, maybe upset a couple of teams along the way that don't get in, right? And kind of
for sure
that last 10, 15 games of the year is kind of a fun little stretch for sure. See how the guys are
you're usually playing against your division teams at the end. They kind of stack up. So it's always, there's some must-win games down the stretch that are playoff games.
No, for sure, man. Now, when you look back on yourself, like as a rookie coming in, let's say your first 2 years, what are some of the biggest differences you notice in Boone Jenner now compared to Boone Jenner as a young guy? I know you've learned a lot along the way and obviously, been around some good guys and stuff, but like when you look back on your younger self, is there stuff where you're just like, man, I like to slap you in the face?
Yeah, I think the first 2 years go by very quick.
Yeah.
It's all kind of you're just wide-eyed going in, trying to soak everything up. You're just living day by day. It's your first time living by yourself, new city, new teammates. You're living out the dream. And, it's pretty cool. You're just trying to learn everything. And now, going to my 7th year, which is, like you said earlier, a little crazy.
Yeah.
I consider myself still kind of young.
Totally.
Then you see all these young guys coming in and you know exactly what they're going through. So you can kind of, help them in that regard. But, no, it's definitely a lot of fun. Your first couple of years, just soaking it all in.
Yeah, definitely. You're probably just wallpaper sometimes, right? Just kind of watching and seeing and observing and seeing what's going on. Who are some of the guys when you first came into the league, even in the OHL and the NHL, but who are some of the guys that maybe kind of helped you kind of learn the way? Because I mean, every time I know when I played, there was certain guys that I gravitated to. There's always those guys that maybe were older and kind of standoffish at the beginning and you're always intimidated by, obviously. But was there anybody that you kind of gravitated to or someone that kind of helped you out right at the beginning and kind of took you under the wing a bit?
Yeah. Right away, I sat beside Nick Foligno in the locker room. I've been sitting beside him my whole time in Columbus, but especially my first year, I had him and actually Mark Letestu on the other side of me. So 2 veteran guys at the time, and they just kind of took me from there. And it was in between periods, before practices, after practices, any questions, I didn't hesitate to ask them, and they were always there to help me in any way. It it was great. Other than those guys, you could see other guys around the room, just, Scotty Hartnell, guys like that you learn a lot from.
For sure.
Just the way they work, day in, day out. That's really where you get it from, is the guys on your team and the older guys. So that's what, kind of now I see myself as that kind of guy for younger guys. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, totally. Right. It's kind of, it shifts right after that 5-6 year mark. You're kind of, now you're one of the guys that's been around for a while. Right.
Yeah. And you want to set that standard, right? So, the guys, are probably looking around the room and they want to, look for someone like that to look at and, look at this certain individual during practices, how he gets ready and everything like that.
Yeah. No, and it's so, I don't know, if you look back on when you were a young guy at your second year playing pro, it's intimidating, man. When you get to that locker room, and you probably didn't really even feel like part of the team for a little bit, as far as, am I going to be here long term? Am I going to get sent down? You're kind of probably a lot of question marks. And then having that vet that comes up to you and like, hey buddy, don't worry about it. Like, this is what you got to do. This is, I think it's so refreshing for whether it's a midget team or a junior team or a pro team, but having those older players or the players that have played AAA the whole time to kind of take other guys under the wing. Because there's the total other side of that where you got those guys who come in and they're just complete assholes. Yeah. They just treat like crap. And,
for sure.
And I remember when I went to college, same thing. I never wanted to be that guy. We had guys like that were just, on their high horse a bit. They were older guys. They ended up being great guys and good buddies of mine. But, at the beginning, you're just like, okay.
A little standoffish.
Vet, rookie. And I swore, I'm like, I do not want to be that guy when I'm in that situation. I want to make sure the guys feel welcome. And, you got to pick up pucks and you got to do your thing. But at the end of the day, we're all teammates and, you kind of embrace guys and help them out along the way. Because it does suck when you first get in. Yeah. Was there anybody when you first got in that you were like a little bit intimidated by, or guys that you kind of watch play or you're like,
yeah, just older guys, the older guys on the team. And I kind of learned quick because I got in a little bit of trouble early because, just in practices or scrimmages, it was during camp that, it looked like I didn't want to touch anybody or hurt anyone when it was, battle drills or whatever.
Yeah.
And I learned quick that you're going to have to battle and, you can't look at the older guy just because he's older. You don't want to go hard on him,
Yeah.
You go hard no matter what. So I learned that quick. And, once you get that, it's good. And I think that, builds that culture where you're going to be buddies off the ice, but, really push each other on the ice.
Yeah. And I think the more guys push each other on the ice, better guys are, right?
Exactly.
And you kind of,
when you're young, you're like, you don't want to piss anyone off, right?
For sure.
And you got to learn that quick that, there's no hard feelings. Everyone's competing. So
yeah. No, definitely. And I think a lot of times that holds true even in minor hockey. Like when you are, maybe you're a AA kid going out for a AAA team and you're kind of intimidated a bit and you don't want to piss off any of the older guys or any of the guys that have played AAA for a while. But at the end of the day, like, you want to steal jobs. And I'm sure the same way. I remember when I was playing if I was the third line center, fourth line center, I wanted that third line center's job.
No, absolutely.
I'm going to try. He's a buddy of mine, but I'm going to try to steal his job.
Yeah, it's it could be your best buddy, it could be top scorer on the team.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going, in the corner, you're going to have to, try your best to win.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. It's only going to make you better and him better. So
no, exactly. Now, how's the culture changed because a guy like Nick Foligno has been an awesome guy. Obviously, he's been there for a long time. You've been there a long time. Have you guys had some shifts in culture, just in different guys coming in and different guys leaving, where maybe some years a little more lax, a little more, and it could be coaching too, right? A little more laid back. Other years, a little bit more intense, a little bit more, how's the culture kind of changed or waved through the last couple of years?
I think it's changed. We take pride in that, just, the leadership group we got now, and we all kind of grew up together, I guess, going through the years where, I don't think our standard was high enough. And when we got Torts, I think he really helped, push us to that next level as well. Just the way you practice, how hard you got to work to be a good team and how hard the league is. So, I think from the first couple of years, looking back to what our standard is now, I think, it's changed a lot. And I think that's why you get more success and you're bringing more guys in and they buy into that culture and you're going to be a good team.
Yeah. I think it is huge to have that core group though, right? Like guys like yourself and probably Jones and
bringing in Jonesy was huge. He's, a character guy and works really hard too. So he definitely helps us.
So the young guys coming in have they have nowhere to go, but hey, this is what we do.
That's kind of we want to set that standard and, we want to be a hardworking team and, have our fun off the ice, but on the ice, be that hard team to play against. And I think that's, you know, our identity / culture or whatever you want to call it that, you know, we'll always fall back on.
No, that's huge for sure. Now, what's Torts like as far as he's been around the league for a long time, obviously has a bit of a reputation with him. I honestly don't know him from Adam, but at the end of the day, when I watch him, I like him. I have a lot of respect for him as a coach as far as I think he's evolved at the game a little bit where some coaches have not. And I also like how he is, and this is kind of more of a question for you, but I feel like he's very honest about if he's pissed off or whatever it is. He'll be honest about it. Yeah. But he also protects the guys a little bit too. Like he's not afraid to like throw a guy under if the guy deserves it, but at the same time, he will protect his team a little bit. But what's it like playing for a guy like that who's, you know,
you pretty much nailed it. He's honest. There's always, you know, no gray area. He wants, you know, you're going to know how he feels, you know, about the team or about you individually and where you stand. You know, he'll tell you if you're not playing hard enough, and it's pretty simple. If you're not going to, you know, put that work in, you're not going to play as much or as much as you'd like or at all. So, that's what, you know, as players, you just respect about it. And, there's no black and white, or there's no gray area. It's cut and dry. Straight, he'll tell you, but at the same time, like you said, he'll protect the team, and he's all about just, you know, the camaraderie of the team, and you know, he has a good grasp of the room and kind of what he feels the room is like that day, or you know, during a stretch during the season, and what we need, you know, practice or meetings wise, and it's been great.
Oh, that's cool. Now, when you first started, and I don't know what you were like in the OHL as far as with your coaches, because I know you had obviously some great coaches in the OHL as well. But were you ever intimidated to talk to your coaches? Like, for instance, let's say you're not playing a lot and you're like, you're not sure why, which happens all the time. Were you okay with going in and talking to your coaches at a young age, like in junior hockey and stuff like that? Or were you kind of I'll just battle through this? Yeah,
it's junior. I think you learn more. You know, it's your first kind of time, you know, with a head coach in an organization like that, where you can go in and, you know, you have the assistant coaches or the head coaches, and you'll grab one of them. And if something's bothering you, or, you know, you can't find yourself, or you don't know where you fit in, what not, which is very important. I mean, you got to know your role and for sure. Where they see you. So, it's something you got to do sometimes, and, you know, just to clear the air and move forward.
Yeah. What was it like in pro? Do you find it different now trying to talk to a coach? Or like, I know now you're older, so for you, they probably come to you sometimes and ask, hey, how's the room? Or, hey, how's this young guy doing? Or, you know, but how was it for you when you first started playing pro, especially that first couple of years? Like, were you like, would you go to the assistant coaches first? Would you go to the head coach? Did you have any problems kind of knocking on the door and saying, hey, listen, I'm just wondering what I need to do better, or how I can get more?
Yeah. I think when you're younger, you're probably a little more standoffish, and, you know, we had a good assistant coach my first couple of years, Danny Highnote, and it was always easy going to him. And we had Todd Richards too, which was very approachable. And but even now, all our coaches, you can grab any of them, and you know, they're on the same page. They just want to make you better as a player and make the team better. That's all it's about. And you know, so you know, some guys, you know, probably don't like to do it, or don't do it much, but you know, if you have to do it, it's just something, you know, you want to get off your chest, I guess.
Totally. Yeah, no, for sure. What were your parents like growing up through minor hockey, as far as, if there was conflict, like, and everyone goes through it. And I mean, you know, you are obviously a good player, so ice time probably wasn't an issue, but let's say you didn't get ice, or you got sad, or a coach yelled at you or whatever. Were your parents more the style of, you got to deal with it, buddy. You got to go talk to them. You got to go figure this out.
Well, yeah, it's your play speaks for itself. And, obviously if you're competing and, you know, putting up some results, and you want to, you know, get out there more, you could probably reach out and say something, or ask, you know, what else can I do, kind of thing. And I think that kind of starts the relationship with, you know, a player and a coach, and you can just build it from there. And you know, you want the coach to be honest with you, and you as a player have to be honest with the coach at the same time.
Totally. And I think it's something like, especially the young kids, talking to an adult, right? It doesn't matter if it's a teacher, coach, whoever it is. It's difficult, man. It's hard. Like, even as an adult, sometimes it's hard. Right? So for young guys and girls, it's tough. But I think as parents, a lot of times pushing them in those situations, helping them out, giving them some advice on it, but pushing, hey, if you don't like how you're playing or what your playing time's like, then go talk to the coach. Go ask him those questions, right? And then I think it becomes easier and easier and easier as you get older, whether you're playing hockey or you're working. You don't mind talking to your boss. And And I think that communication piece is huge, right? As
Yeah.
far as just being able to hammer stuff out, know where you sit, just like you said, knowing your role.
Yeah.
If that coach communicates that role to you, then you get it,
Yeah.
And over the years for you, how has your role changed as far as when you first came into the league to where you are now? Is, and this could have been on kind of you taking on different roles and embracing them, or coaches talking to you about taking on different roles. But how has your role changed over the last, 7 years?
Yeah, you always want to keep, you got to keep looking up and not get comfortable. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You don't want to, sit back and say, okay, here's my spot. I'm good with that. You want to, have more responsibility and be in every situation. You want to be that guy that's, I guess, relied upon in big situations. That's, what we play for. And, I think over the last few years, just my first couple of years didn't do much penalty killing and stuff. So I kind of do a lot more of that now and learned a lot more about it, worked on it a lot. I was playing center wing, so I've kind of bounced around, but, it's kind of wherever I can fit in. And, I obviously want to be a big piece. And, if that's penalty killing, taking face-offs or even playing on the power play, whatever it is, things get changed around and you can't look too far into it. One game you're going to be on the power play and next you're not, but you got to just earn yourself back on there if you want to be back on there. So it's, things are going to change and you got to be able to adapt your role and still have an impact on the game. I think that's one of the biggest things I think when he first got there, that's what he said, is just have an impact on the game somehow. So it's, if you're going to go crash and bang, you got to crash and bang. You just got to get noticed somehow, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's huge. And getting noticed, a lot of times kids think, I got to score a goal.
Right,
I got to toe drag this guy.
It's always not that.
Right. And it could be winning a face-off, a big draw at the end of the game, or blocking a shot on the penalty kill, right? Like there's little unsung hero things that happen in a game that are game changers that good coaches, good players get and see and man, that's amazing. And where, it doesn't show up maybe on a score sheet or on the highlight reel, but it's those are big things. Yeah. And I think another thing too, for a lot of players, like it's amazing, Boone, at the minor hockey level right now, how many kids are like pegged in at like, I'm a left defenseman, I'm a right winger, which to me is insane. Yeah. Like I think you need to play every position. And to your point, like when you get up to that level, like, hey Boone, what do you play? Like play whatever you need me to play. Like, right wing, left wing. I remember when I got to pro at one point, it was my first round of college. So I got to, it went from a full visor to nothing on my face and feeling like I'm a hot dog. The coach is like, hey, what do you play? I'm like a forward. Like I'll play center, but I'll play whatever. So you play the off wing. Like it was terrible. Like I couldn't even pick up a backhand, like a good pass on my backhand. I'm like, play off wing for sure. So he put me on the wing, and for a couple of games and I was okay. But I went up to a couple of vets. I'm like, hey man, like I need some help on getting these pucks out because I'm getting swamped here, And so I got some help and stuff, but it was one of those things where like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
like I just want to play, and I think that's what separates a lot of guys as far as just being a valuable piece of a puzzle, because you played a lot of guys who are like, I'm just a left winger. That's all I can play and that's all I can do. And they get pigeonholed in that one spot. And how versatile are they? Right.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And I think it's huge for young kids to learn those skills, obviously. And then hopefully one day, if they ever get an opportunity to play at a high level, whether it's junior or college or pro or whatever that is, that they can hopefully be versatile enough to keep a spot.
The higher you get up and, in junior and pro, that stuff happens more and more.
Oh, so, totally.
You kind of have to be ready for it. And if they ask if you play, like you said, right wing, and if you don't, but you're not going to say no. Right?
Yeah,
you're gonna play
exactly.
It.
Yeah.
And you're going to learn how to play it and do it the best you can.
Yeah. No, definitely. Now, through your career, obviously you've had, you've always been a good player and then kind of got, go through the draft, get drafted. Now you're playing in the NHL. A lot of times, especially for outsiders looking in, we look at you guys as NHL players like, man, they're so good, right? They're so good. There are some guys that do squeak through the cracks that aren't that good, right? But what are some things over the course of the years for you that you've like, man, I got to change this in my game. I now that I'm here, I see this, like, I got to get better at this skill. I got to get better at this. Are there any things that popped to you at the start where you're like, man, I need to make ssure that I'm getting better at this?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of aspects of the game that you want to, stay on top of and keep working at. But, the game's getting faster. You want to be able to skate and, you can work on anything. I think something that's, hard is everyone's hard on the puck. And if it's protecting the puck or just being hard with your stick on the puck.
Yeah.
And, those battles during the game are pretty intense, obviously, and everyone's big, strong guys. But if you can learn to, be hard on the puck and protect the puck. Those kind of things go a long way.
Yeah.
You find yourself with the puck more, making more plays. And, but yeah, personally, I think skating, you're always trying to, keep up with the speed of the game and try to get yourself quicker, in the off season. And that's really when you can take some strides and be ready to go again, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, when you look at some of the young guys coming in, like let's say your first couple of years, your kind of group of guys in the first couple of years, and then now looking at the young guys coming in now, what do you notice? What do you notice? Is the skill set way better nowadays than it was back then?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what I noticed right off the bat is, young guys coming in, I guess like 18, 19-year-olds that, their skill is really good. It's unbelievable. And I just think back and, when we all came in together, I'm like, I don't remember being that good or being able to shoot the puck like that.
Right.
Definitely a lot of skill, a lot of speed. And that's where I think the game's getting faster. All these guys can skate now. And, you want to be able to, keep up. Yeah.
No, for sure. One of the things I noticed, and this is just my opinion, you can tell me what you think about it, but is I find the kids nowadays are super skilled. Like the skill is off the charts, but a lot of them are doing private lessons. They're in camps, they're in academies, they're doing a lot of stuff like that. So they're on the ice a lot and they're getting a ton of instruction on it. What I find is where I think a lot of the kids aren't excelling is like the hockey IQ. So thinking the game, understanding what's going on in the game. I don't think a lot of them watch enough hockey. And the other thing is I find mentally, I think some of them break down too quick. I think us as parents, I think sometimes we coddle a bit too much. We take care of talking to the coach because he's not playing enough, or we send that email that's blasting the coach for sitting my kid for the third period. And I think the kids aren't going through enough adversity. They're not, so when they get to that level at the NHL, you see some of them that are unbelievably skilled, but they just don't pan out because they're going to get stuck in the minors just because they don't have that mental toughness to get through and kind of push through. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a big part of it for sure. You're going to get pushed. Things aren't going to go your way sometimes, and you got to be able to, cope with that or work through it.
Yeah.
That's a big part of the game. Absolutely. I think everyone's seen guys that, could be more skilled than them, but, if you're better at that and, it's so much of a mind game too.
For sure.
As much as it is skill, it's, hockey's, a lot of it's mental and how far you can push yourself and how good you can make yourself just with your mind.
And I think that's a really good point. I think the big thing is at the NHL level, let's be honest, that your top 200 guys are all skilled. They're all good. Some are a little bit better, some are, but overall they're all solid. But what separates those guys and why some of those guys are sticking is exactly that. They've overcome stuff. They've got a lot of skill, obviously, but they're probably able to handle a coach yelling at them or getting carved in the locker room by the boys and being able to kind of handle it, right? Because there's a lot of other things like we talked about earlier. Just walking in the locker room, and this sounds crazy, I'm sure, to parents and kids, but walking into a locker room for practice. Yeah. And you walk in and normally the coach has all the names on the board on what lines are going, what colors you guys are in. And all of a sudden, normally you play on the first line or second line and you're on the third line. Just in the way it's written in lines. Right away, I remember I used to look at it like, are you kidding me, man? I'm on the second line. You shitting me? I'm supposed to be first line. And then you get rattled. And you're not going to go to the coach and be like, hey, what's going on? Because he's going to give you some bullshit answer about, it's just the way they're written, doesn't matter. But it's every kid goes through deep pairing, same thing, like how they're written on the board, number 1 pair, number 2 pair, number 3 pair, right? And I think like those are little things that you battle those little mental things all the time.
Yeah, the biggest thing I can say on that, I think, is you just control what you can control. Yeah. And I think, you're obviously, if you get bumped down the lineup, you're there for a reason, or if you don't think so, you probably are, let's be honest. Yeah. So you can't control what the coach is thinking at that time. He's maybe switching things up. You guys been losing or whatnot. So if you can just settle your mind and, say, okay, all I can do is focus on, how I'm going to practice today and then take care of that. And I think the rest takes care of itself, honestly, from there. Yeah. It's control what you can control, and that's, your work ethic and getting better.
No, I think it's a great point, because the biggest thing is
the more you look into things, the more your mind starts spinning, and that's just distraction, and your energy's gone somewhere else instead of where you want it to be, I guess. Yeah, no, for sure. And you're right. There's a lot of things that are outside of our hands, right? As an athlete or a worker or whatever it is, like you just got to be the best that you can be and make sure that you're putting in. And sometimes you're right. Sometimes that may be a message. Maybe something like you're not playing well enough, so you are on the third line or fourth line, or
Or, you know, on the flip side of it, and I think this is sometimes where coaches need to come in and that communication piece a little bit, but maybe get moved down to the third line because, hey, listen, we need you to play with Johnny because he needs a little bit of help right now. You're a good player. You're going to make our third line better, make our depth chart better. So this is more of a role that I want you to play for the next 10 games or 5 games or game or whatever. And, you know, as a player, okay, I'll embrace that. I'll take that on, you know.
Probably right away, you're probably a little pissed off, but then
sure,
you're going to have to, make it work from there.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. But even little things like, and I don't know if you've ever gone through this, but let's say you're having a bit of a slump. Let's say you're not playing great and there's coaches meetings, there's video sessions, and everything he's saying, you feel like it's 100% directly to you, right? Like turnovers, like, man, he's talking about me, or like getting pucks deep, like talking about me.
You'll be on the Jumbotron, right? On the big screen.
Yeah, exactly. Right
in front of everyone. It's pretty embarrassing, but
But I mean, your mind starts kind of playing tricks on you a little bit where you think like everyone's on you, and that's not the case. But at the same time, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff throughout the year, I'm sure, for you and all the guys that you guys overcome and you guys got to kind of hammer and kind of deal with, right? And even though, it's probably one of the best jobs in the world and it's great, there's a lot of stress that comes with it and a lot of mental stuff that comes around as far as just staying focused and being on cue. Because at the end of the day, you are performing. Like every night you're going out, there's fans there. And the video that you guys, you know, how much you guys get scrutinized now, even from when you first came in the league. Like, you can't sneeze or do anything.
Video. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you make a bonehead play, there's no I don't think I did that.
Yeah. No, I think that's where the teammates come in too. Just
sure. Yeah.
You know, it's not always coach and player that are going to battle. I think a situation like that where you're going to get called out, I guess, in front of the team. Everyone else knows it, right? So it's kind of on your teammates to help that guy out as well. Yeah. It's not that guy individually going to the coach and them getting in a battle about it. It's kind of, you know, that's what's said by the coach, and, you know, the teammates can take it on from there. Yeah.
Now, who are some of the guys in your room? And you're probably one of them too. But like, let's say you got a young guy who's first couple of years in the league and plays like shit, has a bad game, gets into it, you know, kind of gets torn up by maybe a video session or whatever it is. Who are some of the guys who'd be the first guys to go over after when you guys are stretching or working out, or like, hey, don't worry about it, man, it happens.
Yeah, I think, you know, the older guys on our team, you know, like Nicky, Flegs, Doobie, older guys, even Jonesy, Cam, you know, like I want to be one of those guys as well. But those, you know, you can learn a lot. And if we were all in those shoes at one time, you know, we all got that at one point, and it was the older guys that talked us through it and worked us through it. So, you know, that's what you kind of want to build as a team.
Totally, yeah. And having that support system, I think, is huge, right? Because you're all going through the same thing. Yeah. Whether you're different players or not, doesn't matter. Everyone's going through the same.
Everyone's been there, and it sucks, right? So, you know, to pick another guy up, it's big. You know, and I think that could be done at any level of hockey. Yeah.
No, for sure. I agree. I think minor hockey all the way through, it's nice to have those guys. And I think, you know, when you look at yourself, when you've always been a leader, like, you know, even in junior, obviously, and now in pro, I mean, you're obviously a leader on the Jackets. But when you look at becoming a leader, was there ever anything in your life that kind of helped you become a better leader? So for instance, you know, your older brothers or your older brother or your father or anything like that kind of like, you know, that maybe you saw, or is there anything that kind of.
Yeah, I think that's where it stems from. Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of, I guess you could say, your roots, or, you know, kind of where you come from, that, you know, you build that from. But I think as far as leadership and whatnot, you don't want to stop learning about it or growing as a leader, I guess. You can always be better and learn more, and you learn more from different guys. And the more teams you play on and guys that come through, you try to soak up, you know, that leadership that they bring and, you know, adapt to it. So I think, you know, you learn from older guys when you come in. When you come into junior, you learn from the older guys in your junior team, and same thing with pro. And, you know, it's kind of that effect that, you know, you have it in you, but you always want to get better and keep growing. Yeah, for sure. Oh, definitely. Because I think that's one of the things we talk about, skills all the time, whether it's shooting, puck handling, whatever it is. And I think leadership is a skill. I don't think everyone has it. I think everyone has the capabilities of being somewhat of a leader, maybe not, you know, some of the great leaders. But how do you hone that? How do you teach that? And I think it, again, is like kind of putting kids in those situations where they have to make decisions, or they have to help another kid out or another person out, and trying to kind of pull that out of them to be that leader and be that person that's representing things properly. And because, I mean, when you're down an athlete's stream, whether it's hockey, basketball, whatever it is, and you're elite,
you knew at a pretty young age that there's eyes on you, right? When you got to the O, there's fans watching you, there's kids at school watching you. So you've got to kind of walk a little bit of a different line. Some guys don't, and they get in trouble and it's a bit of a mess or they get a bad reputation. But the guys that are able, and the girls that are able to navigate through that, those are the ones usually that are kind of rise to the top, right? And now you add leadership skills on top of that, where they're making good decisions and kind of getting people to follow them. Then
you
huge,
just want
right?
to want to be one of those guys or girls that, drags everybody into the fight. It's you don't want to be able to, like, I can't sit here and tell you to go like, oh, you should have blocked that shot,
right?
when you know that I just moved out of the way of a shot. You know what I mean? So if you're willing to tell someone to, hey, you got to work harder. Well, the person telling you that better be working hard on themselves, right? So I think it's just you want to set that example and then have that respect from your teammates that they're like, when you say something to them, that you mean it, I guess, and it's coming from a good place.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Now, as you kind of are moving along in your career and stuff like that, I know, like, for instance, this summer, I know there's a couple of things that you really wanted to focus on. There's a couple of things that you kind of wanted to kind of hammer on within your game, which I think is awesome. And I think the elite pros to me always come with 1 or 2 or 3 things that they really want to work on. Like, I feel like I'm not getting my shots. Like, I remember last summer, like, guys are getting sticks on my pucks all the time. I got to get my shots off quicker. And then this summer, a little more deception if we can, and try to get shots off and whatever. And I think it's huge. Now, during the year, do you find there's times in the year where you're like, man, things are not going well right now? Like, I'm not getting shots through, or I'm, and if that does happen, where maybe you're slumping a little bit or just things aren't clicking, you're working hard, but it's just like, man, nothing's going right. Is there anything that you do to kind of help yourself get out of it? Whether it's talk to somebody, or you end up meeting up with your skill coach down in Columbus a little bit and working with him, or is there anything that you kind of do to be like, hey, I got to reset here. I got to refocus.
No, absolutely. I think you change a few things up. If it's even in your routine or whatever it is, but try to get some more work. If something's like that's bothering you, hey, I can't catch this, like pucks are bouncing all over my stick, just taking pucks and passes before practice, with our skills guy down there, or whatever it is that you're like, hey, every shot seems like it's, flubbing off, so you just got to, tweak something or get something different just to kind of reset, and you got to work on it as well. Yeah, no, for sure. And get those reps in, I think, is huge, right? Like, when it just gives you that confidence, I guess. For sure. Yeah, no, definitely. And you guys have a guy down there, right? A skills guy that's down there. That's Kenny McCutton. Yeah, which is awesome. So it's nice. You can always grab him before practice usually, or even after. He's always got a handful of guys that'll be working on something. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, it's really good. Because that's one thing I noticed in being involved a little bit in the NHL level, that you guys don't have a lot of practice time. Like with the travel and stuff, you get maybe 2 or 3 full practices a month where you've got an actual practice day. Usually you're traveling or you're leaving after practice, or there's something going on, right? So being able to have a guy around that can hit you a pregame skate or get on the ice with you a little bit early on a quick skate before you fly out or something like that, I think is huge, right? Yeah. No, there's always time. You are flying around and playing a lot of games, but there's times that you can work on something like that for sure. If it's in the morning before a game or whenever. Yeah, no, definitely. And it was funny when I first started going up and working kind of with the big club, there was, a couple of the guys that I knew quite well from the AHL that are now playing in the NHL. But they're like, man, like there's times where we go through, we don't have a lot of practice time. So our pregame skates, and we don't get a lot of trying to do everything in that. Yeah. And then they're like, man, like, I feel like my skills are getting worse because you work on skills all summer. And then now you're working on like dumps, regroups, chips. Right. And they're like, we're like, I'm not getting the touches. So having a guy like McCutton around or whoever, just to be able to add a couple different drills, or a good assistant coach. It's like, I'll stay out after, I'll work with you on stuff. Just to be able to get those different touches that you're not going to get in like a 3-on-2 regroup or a breakout or whatever. I think that's really important for guys and young guys too, but especially guys at that level to like keep on that stuff, because not that you lose it, but you kind of, it gets a little rusty after a bit, right? No, absolutely. You're working on a lot of systems and stuff during your practices, and you're probably not shooting as much as you were in the summer or for sure. You're used to, right? So got to find a time for it for sure. Yeah, no, definitely. Do you kind of away from the rink? So let's say you have a day off. It's Monday, you guys travel, you've got kind of a day off. What kind of stuff do you like to do kind of away from the rink? Like, is there anything that you kind of gravitate to, or you just like to chill? Or not much. I do watch a lot of hockey. I watch a lot of hockey. Not a video game guy. No, not too much. Honestly, we all kind of live downtown close to each other. So we'll, hang out with a few guys or go to dinner, but that's about it. Like, it's kind of relaxing.
Yeah. It's
when
nice.
you can.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
You kind of take that time and just sit back and hang out.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Now, are you at all like a connoisseur of wine after being 7 years in the show? Have you got kind of gravitated at all?
I'm not a wine or nothing yet, but I do drink it now. I figured that out quick. 'Cause you're going to dinner with the guys, and I think it was like I think it was my first year, and we're splitting the bill, and I'm like, oh, I didn't have any wine because I didn't drink it back then, and I'm like, well, I better start having a couple of glasses, right? I'm paying for it. It's a nice bottle of wine sitting there. And so. I've got it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
That's definitely good now. Yeah.
It's funny, man. The first couple times that ever happened to me was, you go out and you get your per diem, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, go out with a bunch of vets for dinner. No idea what's going on. Get like a salad, chicken salad, whatever. Like, I'm going to bank some per diem here.
Yeah.
And then the bill comes. It's like, no, it's split 13 ways. Like, and they were like, they're crushing wine or beers, and I had water. I had water.
Exactly.
So it changes how you take dinner after that, right? Forget it.
I must be getting a glass of this next time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Learn that quick.
Yeah. And even the wine stuff, like that was one thing I noticed was you get around some of these vets and they know their cabs, they know their wines, they pair in their wines with food and stuff. And you kind of just try to pick it up as you go as much as you can.
Kind of getting there, but I'm still a ways away, I think.
Yeah. And then in the summers, obviously, you got a great spot. You got a couple guys around the area with you as well that play and that train with you and stuff like that. How fun is it to just have, kind of going from Columbus where you got the boys around you a little bit, some of the guys downtown, and then now moving in, in the area and having guys around you there. Is it kind of, I know it's way different, obviously, but is it nice just having some of the boys around if you want to kind of hang or if you want to have dinner together, if you want to.
Yeah. No, we got you talking about here?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a great group here.
Yeah.
It's everyone kind of is different teams throughout the season, so we don't see each other. But when we get back in the summer, you can always, work hard together. We train and skate together and tell stories about, Bows in Vancouver and Trav and Philly and Law and Kegger. Everyone, it's on different teams and kind of just bounce stuff off each other all summer, and it's pretty fun. It's a good environment.
For sure.
It's fun and it's hard and it makes the summer, a lot better, I guess, when you got a good setup like that with guys that you like training with and hanging around.
A little more motivating too at times when there's mornings. I'm sure you get up, you're like, I don't feel like working today, and then guys are going to be here. Or you get a text like, "Hey, I'll pick you up in 10." And
absolutely, you're always pushing each other and giving each other hard times.
Yeah,
or if someone doesn't show you, you're going to hear it for a couple of days.
Yeah,
so
no, definitely.
It's awesome.
And what about down in Port? Like, is it fun kind of having a couple of guys around there as well? Like, because you guys kind of have a little crew that live down there too. So
yeah, even Kegger's down there now.
He is, eh?
Yeah, he's not going to like me saying that, but it's Trav and Law. We're all down there, so see him around town on the weekends and stuff in Port. So it's cool. It's pretty sweet that we're able to do that and all train together too. And then come September, we all kind of go to our teams and battle against each other, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. And I mean, for me as a let's say a coach or whatever on the outside looking in on it, I love it. Like, I think it's, you guys compete hard. Everyone's battling hard. And at the end of the day, everyone wants what's best for each guy. You know what I mean? Whether it's a contract or
absolutely.
Go have a good year. More individually, like, hey, hope you have a good year. Hope your team sucks, doesn't make playoffs.
Exactly. Hopefully we beat you guys.
Yeah, exactly. But it's really fun to see that kind of. And we've got a lot of young guys here that are, first couple of years playing pro or guys like yourself that have maybe, under 10 years, which is fun. And everyone's pushing, which is awesome. The one thing I've been really impressed with is just kind of some of the shapes that the guys have kind of changed in their body. Meaning, like, we've had guys that have been, or even for you, for instance, last couple of years, kind of, tight, injured, backs and bugging you. And then the last year and a half, 2 years been really, it's been great. Like, you've had a, good, healthy, which is awesome. And then body types changing a little bit, like, which has been great. But you see, when you kind of peel back the layers, you kind of see how hard you guys work and how guys push. And then you see these results. You're like, okay, it all kind of makes sense, Yeah.
Like you said about on ice skills, it's same as off ice. You got certain parts of your body you want to, maybe they're nagging or maybe had an injury somewhere during the season that was bugging you, and you're trying to strengthen that up in the summer and obviously work with Mitch, with that and, and he's great with that. He'll adapt anyone's program to get that area of your body stronger, make you feel, if you got to lose weight, gain weight, need more upper body strength, lower body strength, whatever it is. We'll adapt our program to that, and it makes you feel good going into camp again. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and it's nice to know mentally as well that you're prepared, right? You feel good on the ice. Sure. You feel good off the ice. You feel like you're in shape. Yep. You feel like you're tight, like everything's good. And I think that's important going in, having a good, clear mind to.
Well, that's the thing. You gotta be in good shape nowadays going to camp.
For sure.
I don't know. Our camp's pretty damn tough, but
is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours. What kind of stuff do you guys do at camps? Like when you guys will be going in another, couple weeks right now.
2 weeks.
And what would you guys? So obviously get your physicals and get your
physical testing, and then we have an on ice test, and then from there we do. I think it's 3 days of scrimmages with practice after and a workout. So it's like 3 hours of 2 hours on ice and 1 hour off ice. So it's a grind. It's a lot of skating.
Yeah.
Torts really gets us in good shape.
Yeah.
But you have to come in shape too.
For sure.
Absolutely. But there's like you said, it's high volume of skating for sure. And it's good for our group too, I think, because everyone's pushing each other in camp and everyone's going through that together. And, at the end of it, it makes you, a tighter group for sure.
Yeah. And the guys that don't put that work in the summer, you kind of see them fall off, right? Like you're gonna have the groins, you're gonna have the hip flexors. Like it's tough, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's important to know, like you're going into camp, right? Or let's say in June, you're like, man, the camp's gonna be tough. So you better put the work in the summer so you're not gonna, bag out of camp or something bad's gonna happen in camp, right? So I think and when you have a group of guys like, and all these guys that are motivated and pushing the same way, those guys are gonna come back in shape.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. It's the same thing with working out with these guys.
Yeah.
We're pushing each other, and when we go back to Columbus, everyone's in good shape, and we're all eyeing each other up to see who's looking a little pudgy. But no, it's good.
Yeah, no, for sure. And if there's a guy that's pudgy, no one will say anything. Everyone just leave him alone.
Give him a little hard time.
I'll guaranteed. You'll
hear about it.
I'll hear it for the whole year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the one thing about being in a hockey locker room, and you cannot have a blemish on your body. You can't say anything wrong. Like it's anything.
Guys will jump on anything. Yeah.
I don't know if I told you the story before, but I had no idea I was going bald until like the boys on my team told me I was going bald. It was one of those things. We were at a game, like watching a game. I was down below. A couple guys were up top. I came up to like have a beer or whatever, and they're like, "Blazer, like you're going bald now." Yeah, whatever. Ha. Yeah. Well, what do you do when you get home that night? Like 7 mirrors, like looking all over my head, and like sure enough, I'm thinning. I'm like, oh my God. And then from that point on, it's just down.
Hat on at the rink the rest of the time.
Oh yeah. Grew it out for a bit, like grew hair, like landscaped it. So you like kind of had it all covered off the ball. Like,
yeah.
And then finally I was like, I had to
come back next year.
Yeah. Just shaved it off. Yeah. I was like, forget it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I submit.
Yeah.
You
guys win.
Yeah. Last thing I want to touch on though, just because it was kind of exciting and it was awesome to see you guys have such a run last year, obviously, and play well. But picking up those, kind of 3 big free agents, what was it like? And how did that work out for you guys? Let's say leading up to that, were you guys kind of, when you guys heard about this all kind of starting to happen one at a time, were you guys excited about it?
We were thrilled.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because we knew we had a great team, and for our management to do that and kind of put some chips in, absolutely, we were thrilled.
That's awesome.
As guys on the teams were like, gave us a boost.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and we were in the playoff run at that point, and it was funny because when they came in, we started struggling right away, and I think it's going to happen. We thought we were really good, obviously, and we thought, okay, now we're a skilled team, but it doesn't work like that.
Right.
And we found out that pretty quick, and I think that just helped us going into playoffs because I think it came down to the second last game of the year. That's when we got in, and we were last to get in, right? So we had been playing playoff hockey for a month, and as soon as we caught our stride kind of at the right time, I guess, to go into playoffs, and that's going against a good Tampa team. We just just went at it, and we knew we'd been through a lot as a group, and it was just like, hey, we're here now. Let's do it. It's a new season. Playoffs is the best. There's nothing like it. It's like playing your first NHL game every game. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
And that was a massive eye opener for the whole hockey world because obviously Tampa was on fire. They were a good team all year. Nothing really changed with them as far as injuries. They didn't lose anything big. going into it. And then all of a sudden, like 4 straight, it was like, what? And it kind of flipped everything. Now the playoffs got flipped upside down in general after that, but that was, you guys were the first, I think, to finish up the first series, the first round. It was like, whoa, man, like what just happened, right? And it was impressive because you guys played well. You played hard, like you played playoff hockey. Yeah, you know, and they are obviously a skilled team, so it didn't really match up well against the style that you guys played, right?
Yeah, we scouted them and we had our game plan, but we just wanted to stick to our identity, I guess. And like I said, it kind of came together for us. And once you get that momentum and, you know, you see what your team can do when you all buy in, or everyone's buying in, playing to their role, you see the things that start happening for you, and you just want to, it's contagious, you know, you want to just keep it rolling. You got that momentum, and obviously they're a great team, and, you know, to be able to just go 4 straight, I guess, just keep winning and playing that style of game was so much fun to play.
For sure. Yeah. Now, what was the locker room like in like game 3 and game 4? Just because you'd won 2 in a row, and you're probably like, I'm sure some of the guys are like, holy shit, what just happened? Like, we just, you know, no, and then now you're like, hey man, we can beat these guys. Cause then you get over that hump. Even the first game, you're probably like, okay, man, we're all right. Yeah. Maybe we'll split this. That's fine. Exactly. And you win the second one. Now you're like, okay, wait a second. Like we can win this series. Like you right away, it changes that whole mentality of that team, right?
For me, it happens so quick, you know, looking back on it, it's just kind of like, but when you're in the moment, you're just trying to, you know, play each game. You have to be able to forget the last game and start up again. Yeah, right. And that's what's good about playoffs. You win or you lose, you're starting fresh the next game, and it doesn't matter, right? You got to win 4. So, we just kind of rolled with it, I guess. We were feeling good about ourselves, feeling good about the way we were playing. So we knew we had it in us. You know, we beat them 2 times, 3 times, and we just wanted to, you know, obviously that 4th one's the toughest one to, for sure, because they're, you know, backs against the wall. Yeah. So, you know, they're giving it all, and you know that going in, so you know you're going to have your best game. So it happened for us and came together.
How was the energy though? Is it just like in the locker room and stuff like that afterwards? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
The boys just
great. Stoked. I mean, I think for a lot of us, it was our first playoff series win. Yeah. So it was
even
definitely
for the city, right? Yeah. Like that was huge, man.
Definitely a cool experience to be part of that. Yeah. It's crazy how it's not even close to, you know, the ultimate goal. Right. You know, it's 1 round out of 4, and it really goes to show how that emotion, and it just gets ramped up every series. So it's, you know, it's addicting. You just want to get back to it and do it again.
Now, do you think going through that for a lot of you guys and that core group of guys and stuff that are hopefully going to be there for another, you know, bunch of years, did it give you guys a good taste in your mouth of like, okay, obviously bittersweet because, you know, it didn't advance past the second, but being like, okay, man, we can do this. Like we got kind of figured out, not exactly, there's no perfect recipe, but you kind of figured out, okay, if we stay within our identity, if we play the way we can play, if we, you know, get our core group and our guys and our culture together, man, we can make this.
Yeah, you don't really know unless you go through it, right? It's the experience, and like I said, we've been in the playoffs but lost in the first round, and to be able to get through that hump, and then and play in the second round, and then you get beat out, and it hurts even more, and you just get that taste, and you realize how each little play can swing a series or a game, and how far that goes in the long run, and how close a bounce here and there go in the playoffs. It's crazy. You're so close, but so far at the same time. You know, it's hard, and it gives you that taste where that motivation to want to do it again, and hopefully that experience will help you the next time through.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now, what was it like playing with a guy like Panarin? Obviously crazy skill set, but when you first saw him on the ice, obviously you played against him, you knew who he was and everyone's aware of who he was. But when you actually saw him in practice and stuff like that, was it like, oh yeah, it's just gross?
Yeah. Stupid good.
Really?
Best player I've ever seen. Yeah. Day in, day out. Cause I got to see him in practice every day, and just the stuff he would do is just crazy. Yeah. I mean, in a game, like he would go down and I don't know, there'd be 3 guys on him and he'd make some stupid pass across the ice and find a guy streaking down the middle. Yeah. Nobody could see it coming. Right. I mean, I'm sitting on the bench. I still didn't see the other guy, and he saw it. Right. It's he's a tremendous player, obviously, and he works really hard too. He doesn't get credit for that. He's you know, not a very big guy, but it's not easy to get off the puck. Yeah, he's strong. He's got the puck, and it's hard to get it from him. Yeah, he battles really hard. So he's very underrated that way. Everyone can see his skill, but you know, he's he's definitely the best player I've seen, just straight skill wise, I guess.
Yeah.
Making plays out of nothing. It was pretty cool to see them.
That's cool. And what about Duchesne? Like, what was he?
Yeah,
same, hey? Like just skill. Like he has two skilled guys there.
Really skilled. And same thing, the plays he would make and just little passes, everything those guys can see a little bit more, I guess, and make those kind of plays where sometimes it doesn't work out, but for the most part it's going to work out, and that. And if he fails and one time, he's not going to not do it again. He'll try it again, and it's going to work next time. We know that, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun to play with guys like that. You just don't want to go against them in practice.
Yeah, no doubt. Make you look silly in a one-on-one drill, right? But you said something there that I want to touch on. But guys like that, I find, like your Canes and your they're those skilled guys, and they'll make that difficult play. Like even like Trav sometimes, like he'll make that difficult play, whereas like maybe you'll make that play like maybe I won't do that next time. I'm just gonna chip just to make a safe play. They'll do it again.
Yeah, and
if they mess it up, they'll do it again. Right? Like
it's gonna work.
Yeah, right. Like and they've got that confidence and that I guess that confidence in their ability as well, that they're like, I can make that play.
Yeah.
I should.
And as a player, you learn from guys like that as well. Just
for sure.
You could see like, maybe next time I'll try to hang on to it a little bit more like he did. You know?
Yeah.
And you can learn from guys like that. So it's definitely cool to see up close.
It's cool. It's a good point though because I know I've said this just the other day, but I learned how to shoot a puck better by watching like my captain, and back in the day was who could shoot it and rifle it, and I was like, so just mimicked what he did, like top hand up, and just kind of copied him basically, right? And my shot got better. And I think for anybody, like you watch these guys that are really good, and you're like, he hangs on to the play. He's not giving it away. I always give it away, or I always try to cycle it. Why don't I just hang on to it a little bit more and protect it, and then try to make a play out of it?
Absolutely, yeah. You can definitely learn. Little things like that.
Yeah, especially obviously when those guys are like crazy high end, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's definitely stuff that anybody can pull off those guys for sure. And how, I guess, going into this season, a little bit of a different dynamic as far as those skilled guys are no longer. But how are you feeling about the season this year and kind of getting back there and kind of getting rolling with camp and start of the year?
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been talking to other guys on the team as well, and we're excited to get going again. And then, obviously we're going to have some new faces, lost some guys.
Yeah.
But, we still have that, that belief and that culture that we've built, as a group with the coaches, with everybody. I think that, we're going to be a good team.
Yeah.
And we know that it's going to be fun to go into camp. Last year's behind us now. We can learn from it and start building for this year. And, like I said, you realize how hard it is and how much work you put in throughout the whole year just to get into the playoffs. And, we want to just that motivation from last year still kicking at us.
Yeah,
we want to do it again. So we're not going to look too far ahead. We're ready to put the work in camp and go from there.
It's got to be nice going into the start of the year and having kind of your boys there. Like you got your, kind of your core buddies that are there, and that, that core group I think is so huge. And you look at any team that's been really, really good over the last bunch of years, like a Pittsburgh or a Chicago or, or even Tampa, like they've got their core group of guys that have kind of stuck together, that have been there, through and that are pushing. You guys got some awesome young guys too that are coming up, which
we'll absolutely, we're going to have some new faces and bring them right in. And, obviously you're going to be big parts of us moving forward. So it'll be good. Looking
at a guy, just because he's a local guy or played here, I guess, in London, but looking at a player like a Josh Anderson, who kind of came in, young guy, and just played such an important role for you guys, but a guy that I think any team would love to have on their team.
Absolutely.
Plays hard, plays tough. What are some of the things that you've seen with a young kid like him coming in now, having a couple of years of pro under his belt, but how is that evolution like for you as kind of an older guy, probably helping him out a little bit, probably chatting with him a little bit, but
he was, last year even better than the year before. He's he seems to take a step every year. He's so fast, so big. He's got a great shot. He's nasty to play against. You don't want to play against him.
Yeah.
He's forechecking, he's back checking, he's all over the ice, really.
Yeah.
And it really makes a big impact on the game having him. He's so fast. He kind of backs people off with his speed, I think. You don't really realize how fast he's coming at you, and he goes right around you. So he's big. He's part of our group, and We're looking forward to, having him back, obviously.
For sure, man. And he's a guy who can finish too, eh?
Yes, he can score.
And he can punch you right in the nose if he needs to.
Oh, yeah, he can do it all.
Which is huge, right? Like,
he's a force out there.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
It's fun to play with a guy like that, absolutely.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, definitely. You probably feel like a little taller when you play tough. Guys like that don't mind banging and crashing and playing tough, right? Yeah. No, it's great. Well, listen, buddy, I really appreciate you popping by. And wish you the best luck. I've been pumped away this summer, man. I think the last couple of years, obviously, we could kind of been back in London and come back, and it's been awesome. So looking forward to seeing you on the NHL Network. And, it's gonna be fun, man.
To it too.
Hey, good luck, buddy.
Man.
All right.
It's been a good summer.
Yeah.